Hey, so I haven't made a video in a really long time. It's been like a year and a half, I think, but a lot has happened. I'm living in St. George, Utah now. I was in Idaho, and my wife's got a job as a nurse at the hospital. She just graduated last year. I got my pilot's license, and I've been kind of trying to figure out what to do for a career the last few years, and so that's where I am right now, is pursuing a career as an airline pilot. So this year I should be getting a lot of ratings, and I was just kind of thinking to myself that I was looking for a lot of content like this last year when I first started pursuing this. There is a lot of content out there, but I thought it would still be fun to kind of share my story, and should have probably started earlier when I was starting training for my private license, but here we are. So not only did I get my pilot's license, I also bought a plane. So right now we're headed to the airport, and we're gonna go on a little flight, probably just like an hour or so, and I'll give you a little tour of my airplane. So we'll be there just a sec. All right. Well, let's go out to my plane. It's not one of those. All right. We are just about here. So here she is. It's a 1996 Zenair Ch300. So it's just a little 3-seater, and it holds about 34 gallons of fuel, so I can fly for about 3 hours or so. Does about 115 miles an hour cruise, or about 100 knots. So I'll go ahead and pull this canopy off. I don't know if I can do it with one hand. Should have brought a tripod. Oh well. But yeah, so I was renting a plane. It's usually tied down over here, but I think I saw it over by the flight school. They doing some maintenance on it. So I was renting a plane that was a 1981 Piper Archer, and it was a pretty good plane, but they charge $180 an hour to rent it, and I need a lot of hours. I'm gonna try to balance my phone on there. I need a lot of hours, so it didn't really make a lot of sense to keep renting it. Like, I want to get about 200 hours this year, and so at $180 an hour, I think when I did the math, let me double check before I put my foot in my mouth. Yeah, so I was right. Okay, so at $180 an hour, it would cost me $36,000 for a year to fly 200 hours. That's a lot. So I bought this plane for $50,000. It costs about $50 an hour for fuel to fly it. So I know that I'll have, some maintenance to do this year, and different oil changes and whatnot, and hopefully nothing big, but it is a possibility. It should be cheaper, and I can sell the plane when I'm done. But who knows? Maybe I'll like it a lot, and I'll end up keeping it. We'll have to see. But that's why I got it. The other reason is that it's kind of hard schedule-wise to rent the other plane, because they prioritize training in it. So they usually just don't really like it when the students, or now that I'm not a student anymore, rent the plane, because that means that it's time that they can't have their instructors go up. And so I just wouldn't be able to fly very much. So even if I could fly 200 hours, or if I did want to, it might be hard to get the plane for that many hours each year. So this was just the best option for me. So we'll go ahead and open her up. Again, it might be tricky with one hand, but I got it. All right, I'll give you a little bit of a tour. Like I said, it's a 3-seater, and the back seat looks like it's for 2 people, but if you can read that placard, I don't know if it'll focus on that placard in the back, but it has a weight limit of 210 pounds, so it'd have to be really small people to fit 2 people, and it only has 1 seat belt. There's 2 buckles because there's a shoulder and then a waist and then a shoulder harness. This was the biggest selling point for me because I'm gonna work on my instrument rating, and so I can do it in this plane because it has all of the instruments you need for IFR flight or instrument flight. So while those are booting up, we'll go ahead and do the pre-flight. So with the pre-flight, I'll go ahead and make sure that nothing's weird with the flaps or my ailerons, and you can see the stick is moving in there. And then I just kind of inspect the wings generally to make sure that everything is how it should be. Make sure the chain is undone. I want to check the leading edge, make sure there's no big dents or anything like that. And then I like to check the fuel. Make sure that it's called sumping the fuel, but I'm looking for water mostly. I want to make sure that the tires look like they're inflated and not too worn. Same with the front tire. Make sure that there's no big like dings or nicks on the prop, and that everything looks all right and there's no birds or anything in the engine. And then there's not usually very much fuel in here, but I'll still usually try to check to make sure that there's no water or anything. And then same thing here, check the tire, check the fuel. No water. And we'll want to remove this. This is the pitot cover. That's where my airspeed and a few other instruments get their, well, it measures ram air. And that's how I know how fast I'm going. Take that one off. And the instruments should be all powered up. So what we'll do is we'll check the lights while we're out here. Make sure that the landing light works and that my navigation and strobes are working. Same thing back here. And then while I'm back here, I'll check the stabilator and make sure that it feels like it moves properly. Take that chain off the tail. Looks like both those lights are working. And then I'll check this. And that nav light looks good too. So does that landing light. So lights are good. Go ahead and turn those off. And climb up here. Turn the lights off. So yeah, this is my display, and you can really like customize the configuration of everything to your personal preference. But I'll just get in here real quick. And so I've got my primary flight display right here, but I can put it over here if I want the bigger screen. So on my flight yesterday, it was pretty nice. I took off like this, and then I ended up just putting autopilot on to take me out to Cedar out that way. And so then I just put it on the smaller screen, because then I can have my map on here and I can look out for terrain. And then it also has traffic, so it'll show me if there's other airplanes flying. Like you can see this one right here. It says that he's 4,500 feet above me. His tail number is 241 Charlie Victor. So I can watch out for traffic. Here's my this is the GPS that makes it capable of IFR flight. I don't know if the screen is showing up through the video, but I can have like my map here and go nearest airports, and I can scroll through these, find different airports, and go direct to those or look up information. Same thing with this. I can click on an airport, click info, and I've got like different comm frequencies that are used. I can tune those. I can tune these straight to my my radio right here. And then this is my transponder right there. So pretty awesome. All right, switch to the GoPro for this. I'm gonna do my startup checklist and check the weather and stuff like that. All right, so my avionics are on, circuit breakers are all in, switches are all off, fuel, turn that to both, check, boost pump on, mixture full rich, prime is necessary. We'll give it a few primes. I can unlock the primer. One. pretty uneventful, huh? But that was it. All right, getting her all tucked in. So I just finished, got her chalked up and got the chains all on, so she's not going anywhere. So now we're headed back. It's pretty sad actually. There's a bunch of planes here that are just like abandoned. Like this one doesn't have any wings. I think someone was actually working on that one. I haven't seen any work on it for a while, but somebody was working on it, so maybe it's not totally abandoned. But there's a bunch of other planes that are here. I've never seen that plane fly over there, and like that plane, never seen it fly. This plane definitely never flies. That plane never flies. That plane never flies. There's just a bunch of abandoned planes. It's pretty sad. Yeah, so I just went for a short flight, about a half an hour. Basically just wanted to come out here and give a little update on what I've been doing, what's new with me. And I also think that the direction of the channel will kind of go more towards this flying, this aviation. I really want to show people what I'm doing in hopes that it will like help them with their decisions, or maybe people that are looking at doing aviating, maybe this will help them. It's not, I think the biggest thing, it's really fun. I love doing it, but it's so expensive, and I totally get that. We have to sacrifice a lot in the moment so that I can get a job doing it later, because it's definitely not cheap, but it's really fun and I really enjoy doing it. So I hope that more people can get to experience it. So that's why I'm making these videos. And I love, it's hard to see anything here, but it's so pretty here in St. George. I wish that I'll try to get some more cameras set up, like maybe outside the plane, so you can kind of see what I'm seeing when I fly, because it's so pretty. I'm gonna start making videos again, so this one's the first one in a while, but there will be more, so just stay tuned.